Welcome to the 43rd episode of the Decompression Chamber. I'm your host, Mario, as always. I hope you're having a good morning, day, afternoon, whatever. And our opening quote is going to be from the former UFC champion Khabib Nurmagomedov. The quote goes, "Climb the mountain so you can see the world, not so the world can see you." Roll the intro.
Like into me, no doubt that I never be without my damn brain. Closed mouth, I'm clever and I know my damn shame. No cloud to the better, no one know my damn name. No bow, that shit what I guess we about to cascade.
Yeah, so I'm filming this on a Sunday evening after a nice barbecue with my flatmates at uni, and I can't lie, recently not only have I been doing well, I feel like I've been doing enormously well. Like, I've been so intensely happy over the last few days that it's somewhat hard to believe. Like, it's not like my life is devoid of happiness, or a lot of time I experience happiness to a great degree, but just in the last 2-3 days it's felt like this pure, unfiltered, shining beacon of joy all throughout every single aspect of my life, and it's such a powerful feeling. And I have these daily affirmations, and one of my affirmations says that I'm not owed happiness, which is to say that, kind of these feelings come and they go in life, and sometimes you're lucky enough to experience good things, sometimes you're not, and all I'm trying to do right now is be grateful, because, recently I got some really good feedback from someone who I admire a lot, from my teaching staff on my course, about a documentary I did. By the way, shameless plug, but if you haven't seen it already, how are you here? Because it's on the front of my page. Anyway, watch that if you could. Tell me what you think. But yeah, so I got some really good feedback. The sun's been coming out. Just everything in my life is just, it's not even like anything's changed fundamentally. It's just, maybe it's me. I've just been feeling so joyful, so like, the word I'd use as well is triumphant. Like every day feels like a triumph. Like I wake up and I'm like, yes, there's something that can be achieved today. There's something that can be gained. There's enjoyment left for me, and I can seize it. And I just hope I can carry this forward, and I hope that in future I might look back in this video and I'll think, I can get back to where I am here, because I'm not going to be here forever. But I will be back here, and hopefully I can carry this for as long as possible. I watched an incredible night of UFC fights last night, like a historic night of fights. It was UFC 261. I watched it with my flatmate Harvey, legend. I know you're watching. I know Toby. I don't know whether he's caught up yet, but he's a bitch. Nah, I'm joking, Toby. I like you a lot, but you should have woken up earlier. In any case, he woke up and watched the championship fights with us, which was the most fun, and it was a great time. Literally every single fight throughout the card was either a first round knockout or a second round TKO, and it was absolutely wild. Despite there being one very disgusting leg injury that made me cringe terribly, it was a spectacular night of fights. And there was one particular fight, it was a Chinese champion, Wei Li Zhang, a woman who I admire greatly for her skill and her passion for fighting and her ability to just absolutely throw hands. And then I was completely convinced she was going to win, and the girl who she fought against, a previous champion, just comes in, leaves the range, and then just flings a head kick at her that slumps her, and like, it was a wild, spectacular night. And then in the next fight, in the main event, the champion Kamaru Usman, who rematches this guy Jorge Masvidal. Usman, the champion, is a wrestler by trade, technically, and Masvidal is a striker by trade, technically, and yet on the feet, Usman was absolutely just plastering him. He was just laying absolute hands, and then in the second round, actually, it might have been in the first round. Yeah, it must have been, because otherwise I'd be contradicting myself. But he laid him out. He feeds him a right hand. I like using the term feeding for a punch. I don't know why. It's like the idea of like being forced a fist into your mouth. It's a nice visual for me. And so he absolutely fed him a right hand, so much that if you watch the replay, his head swings and you can see like an entire cloud of sweat just ping off him. It was absolutely spectacular. And yes, I spent a lot of nights throughout the year just in an absolutely weird comatose vegetative state, just like watching absolute violence. And sometimes it's worthwhile and it's like, oh wow, I've deprived my sleep for a good worthwhile reason, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's like, you know what? I kind of wish I'd woken up and just watched those in the morning. However, I make the sacrifice every time because of nights like last night. Because there's some nights that just it's worth staying up for, and last night paid off more than almost any other. I mean, there was one in I think November of 2018. It was UFC 217. It was again, it coincided with 3 title fights. And in that card that I mentioned previously, 217, all the champions lost in the same night, which was quite amazing. But I think the one that I experienced yesterday was, if not near, kind of similar levels. And I think it's fun watching it with like flatmates from uni, because they're kind of less used to watching the sport, and watching them experience like spectacular, like historic sporting moments like that is truly a benefit and a privilege. And yeah, and so today, so basically, I've mentioned before how for the next coming project in my film course, I'm kind of just a technical camera role. I joke and I say I'm camera bitch 1, because all I do is I help set up the camera and put the lens in that they tell me to put in, and I pull focus, which is actually quite a hard technical job, and I like the skill of having to pull focus, but because our DP wasn't available, our director of photography, I was asked to help join the location scouting. So me and pretty much it's just my mates from uni, but they're the ones who are my group. We just drove around the southwest looking at nice locations. It was a beautiful sunny day, just like having some banter in the car, just looking around location, taking some snaps, and it really was a privilege. And even though I was slightly sleep deprived, I didn't really feel it that much. The sun in the day, and not just that, my friend Corny has a nice car, but it's a small sports car. And my friends were very generous to, like, literally not even like any dispute, no argument, no saltiness. They were just like, yeah, you can go in the front because of your abnormally long femur bones, you fucking weird spaghetti straw man. They didn't say that part, but that's the bit that I project myself, you know. I try and, that's the thing is, I think it's important to have self-deprecating humor just to show that you're not like completely arrogant. But I think I sometimes have this, and I think people in general do, where it's like too much self-deprecating humor is just a bit like, come on, at least show some spirit in yourself. At least show that you back yourself enough. You know, maybe that's just me projecting. But yeah, it's quite a strange experience. Just like, it's one thing to have these moments of happiness in a day of like, you know, somewhat mundanity or like just general easygoings, but I have a feeling that when I view a day as amazing, when I kind of look at the world and I think, wow, what a joy and what a benefit, what a privilege that I am here today, it does make my day better. It does, and it sounds cheesy, but I don't think it's even something that you can just falsely convince yourself of. You know, you have to believe it. You have to think that there might be something up for you today. You know, and I browse a lot of Reddit. It's just, you know, people waste time on the internet. I waste time on the internet. Most of the time it's on YouTube. If I'm on my phone, it's on Reddit. And there's this subreddit called Me in Real Life. But then there's like an extra one called To Me in Real Life, For Me in Real Life. And it's pretty much, it's just like a subreddit where people just kind of, they circle jerk their own depression. They just make posts about how sad they are, and then people comment about how it's not worth it, and life's like a void, an empty, boring hole. And I pretty much talked it in my last video, how what you will look for is what you find in terms of positive and negative emotion, in my opinion. Like, obviously I'm speaking from a position where like I don't have any major like debilitating mental conditions in terms of like depression, anxiety, or some kind of you know, condition that might affect my well-being in terms of mental health. Not that I don't experience negative mental health from time to time, but I don't have like a serious mental health issue. That's my perspective. But from this perspective of mine, I find that when you're like looking at the world as a joyous opportunity, it's a better way of living. It's a better way of operating. And I'm trying to do that more. I'm trying to convince myself more that, hey, it's not just good enough to think that today might be a good day. You must view it as a gift. You must view it as an opportunity. And you must view it, even if it's not an opportunity to, like, there's this dumb, like, maybe it stems from capitalism or Protestant work ethic of like, you have to have cemented some piece of productivity into society today. That's not what I mean by opportunity. By opportunity, I just mean the ability to live, the ability to engage with the moment that you're in, the ability to kind of just look around and be like, not only am I going, yeah, this is life, I'm going, yeah, this is life, this is it, and I'm here for it, I've got the energy, and it feels good to be in that position, And when I'm in this position, I guess I try and think, all right, so now I know how good it is to be here. How did I get here? Like, I think a few days to go to where it stemmed from, and I think it's just it's small things. It's small things like one of my flatmates, Scar. You're a star if you're watching. You're a G. Like, she got me this big bag of Go-Go's from the market, and like, I don't know whether anybody else used to play Go-Go's back in the day, where like you stand up these little plastic toys and you flick one across the floorboards in your house and you knock them over, and it's just a small thing, but so many of those that in the bag that she got me are from like directly I remember from my childhood, and that was just an extra like, you know, little sizzle of joy in my life. Just like these little interactions that I've been having with my flatmates, where it's just like I don't just engage with them in that I enjoy spending time with people, but I also try and mentally think like, I'm so happy that these people are in my life, and I'm so happy that I get to engage with them so regularly, and I hope that they enjoy it likewise, you know, and just in the way that they respond to me, I can understand when they do, and that mutual like shared affection, even if it's just that slight like sense of companionship in the moment, is so worthwhile. It's so valuable. And yeah, I think I haven't even been doing super well keeping all, like, I made a video a while back about kind of keeping my habits in check, and yeah, that is true, but I'm starting to think now whether it's more than just a habit. I'm not just like a robot that needs to have certain processes fit the day, you know. That's a good structure to have, but to kind of, I'm trying to create a good analogy in my head, and I'm failing to here, but to give what is like this vivid feeling of joy that I'm feeling right now, I think it might be happenstance, it might be pure coincidence, but it might just be hoping for a better life. It might just be expecting like that when you put, you know, good energy out into the world, it might return to you, or whatever bullshit you choose to believe, you know. I mean, it's not even like a big karmic thing, I don't even think. I just think it's like, if you try and enjoy life the most you can, you might find that you enjoy it more than if you're just getting through it, you know. And I've done plenty of just trying to get through life, you know. I think everybody has. One of the most annoying things about being a human is that so much of life is waiting for stuff to happen. And I think maybe if you recontextualize what is waiting to experiencing, to something else, to a different journey, a different motion, just something, you might get more out of it. You might not. Yeah, I kind of ran out of steam there. I can't lie, it's not always, I'm not always in a position in my life where I feel this happy, so I don't know, it's not exactly like I can just freeze frame like me just doing a big cheesy smile and just end, Mario was happy for the rest of his days, you know. I think it's that thing about the arrival fallacy that I talked about, where it's not like I've arrived anywhere. I haven't arrived at happiness, I'm just experiencing it. I haven't arrived at any super important goal. I haven't, you know, climbed to the top of a mountain like Khabib said. I'm just waking up, and I'm feeling like every day might be a good day, and I'm hoping that carries as far into the future as I can hope for, you know. And even if you're in a position where you're watching this video and you're not feeling that way, you know, I'm trying to speak from the position as someone who maybe 2 weeks ago was feeling like quite not okay and quite unhappy, and now I'm feeling way better. Now I'm feeling like I could, you know, I could fucking run around this small city of Salisbury, even though I'm kind of intoxicated, and I'm in this weird stage of like coming down from drunk and feeling the hangover. So, you know, it's a bit of a weird situation, and if you are as happy as, or in a similar zone of happiness that I'm feeling right now, then I hope watching this video can feed you some of that energy more, and let you know that, you know, I'm happy that you're happy. It's a weird thing, but you might not even have communicated it to me. But if there's any source of joy, any like crystallized form of, you know, passion or excitement, or, you know, anything, that I support you, and I want you to feel that to a greater extent, or maybe not a greater extent, but just a more prolonged extent, or even if it's not as prolonged, just to appreciate it for what it is, you know, because I appreciate it and I appreciate you. And it sounds cheesy, but I mean it. And I appreciate you very much for watching this video. As I said, watch my documentary. It's 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Really didn't take that much effort. And yeah, thanks for watching.
For the shade, I don't wanna give myself no option, so I drop the visor just to wake up. Ain't no tripping over pay stubs, ain't no tripping on the vague stuff. All the things that I can make up, I'm a thinker, not a maker. Wait. No grayer I see, never think about the consequences if you hate.